up, everybody? It's your girl Ashley Michelle, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm super excited that you're here today, and I have a special guest. This is one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Nia. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, Be Encouraged. I'll make sure I link it down below in the description box. But we are just gonna chat about college life, adulting, temptation, and just spirituality. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Basically, we're just gonna go back and forth asking each other's questions. And my first question is, how do you deal with temptation?
Okay, so we're in college, so that means there's a lot of stuff for us to do, a lot. And so there's some things that people won't consider temptation for them and for me. So I think it's on like a personal basis. Like, I can go to a party and I feel like I'll be okay, but other people think they can't be in that environment. So for me, I think I just set boundaries, and also I have people hold me accountable. So like, I will text Ashley when I know that I'm probably about to do something I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I'm like, sis, please pray for me, because right now
it's real.
Okay? When you see a nice fine man,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Better risk it all.
get it together. So I really just have to set boundaries for myself and have an accountability partner, because it's unrealistic to say like I can always be like, okay, no. I need somebody to hold me accountable.
Sometimes you just feel like you want to slip up, but you know you can't. So.
Okay. All right. Let's see what question I want to ask. How has being away from home, helped you grow spiritually?
Okay, so I feel like at home, especially when we were really active in youth church, like when I was in middle school and early high school, like I was at church every single Sunday, and I was at youth church every single Wednesday. Like, I did not play, because I really had a really good youth leader, well, multiple youth leaders, and I just felt like really involved and excited. Then I came to college freshman year, and I did not go to church at all. I got lost in the sauce, because if you go to A&T, you know how exciting it is, and it's a whole new environment. So I just kind of was like, with my spirituality, like, I was like, when I go home, I'll go to church. Then sophomore year, first semester, I just kind of had like this reboot button, and I was like, wow, I really need to get back into my faith. I need to refocus, because for a long time, I felt like me and God had a really close relationship, and then when I came to college, it was like that relationship was gone. So sophomore year, I like really rededicated to like making sure that I was staying in my word, that I was connecting with God, and that I was ministering to other people through like my gifts and things like that. So it's been kind of a transitional period.
Do you feel like if you stayed at home for school, like it would be different? Not at home, not like commuting, but if you went somewhere in Pennsylvania.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it would be any different, because I think if I didn't I gotta deal with a whole bunch of other stuff. But here I felt so encouraged by the people around me. Also my sister.
But the moment I come back, it's like boom. It's like God, he's never like, I'm not coming in your presence because you haven't been here in a while. Like, literally, he comes, well, he's there every single time. So I know that even if I feel like, oh, God left me or I'm alone, it's me. I'm the one that's running, because the moment I come back to that door, it's open. Yeah, it is.
So what do you do if you feel like you're asking God for something, or you're trying to get clarification on something and you can't hear him?
Yeah, that happens. I think I just try to be patient. Or I feel like I think I don't need to know what's happening next all the time. because if that was the case, then I would know already, or I won't. I'll say, oh, well, I know this is going to happen, so I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. Sometimes I have to do these certain things because there are other people who can't hear. So while I can't hear, eventually when I'm able to, I know that that whole story that I went through, that whole little journey, I'm able to talk to somebody else about it and be like, this is what you need to do. If it was always, oh, I can always hear, and people ask me, how do you hear from God? I don't have anything to say. I'm going to say, well, I don't know, he just talks.
Yeah.
But being able to keep praying or trying to fast or like getting away from social media so that I'm able to hear him, then it's like, okay, now I know what to say. So if I don't hear, I just feel like I'm gonna keep trying, or he doesn't want to tell me right now, that's okay.
I also feel like sometimes when people are like, oh, I can't hear God, or how do you hear God? It's like, do you actually have a moment in the day to hear him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't expect, you're scrolling on social media all day long and you're all of a sudden going to hear everything that God is saying. Like, you have to spend quiet time with God in order to build a relationship. And people talk when there's a relationship. And you know, like I just heard in this sermon, like God's not rude. So if you don't open the door for him, he's not just gonna barge through and be like, hey, Nia, I'm trying to talk to you. Like, you have to leave space for God to come into your life and to speak to you. So
I also think you have to know his characteristics, or know how he is, know how he interacts with you, because the way that I hear from God may be totally different than somebody else. And you sometimes when you're trying to, you don't want to get in your own head and hear your own thoughts and be like, oh, this is what God said, when that's not what he said. But when you spend a lot of time with him and you know how he is, you know how he talks, then you can be like, oh, that was it and that was it.
And you can pray for discernment, because sometimes it's hard to decipher like your own thoughts and your own desires from God's will for your life and God's desires for you. So be like, hey God, I need discernment right now. I need you to help me decipher between my own desires and what you want for my life. Like, I think that that should be in everybody's prayers. And my pastor last week, he said a double dose of discernment. That's what we need. That's right, like period, a double dose. So that really just helps us on our spiritual journey, because ultimately like life is about discerning things. Like, and sometimes that's hard. So yeah.
Who's turn?
Oh, you're trying to think. I think. Yeah, because I asked you about what if you can't hear God.
Okay. Do you think trying to like be who you are and stay on like a spiritual walk in college has cons socially? Because you know we talking about ants like it's all good, but is there anything that's like, okay, this is a lot?
Yeah, I think that sometimes, I don't know if I want to call them cons necessarily, but things that make it a little bit harder than maybe somebody who may not be as connected spiritually. I felt like God was calling me to like get my friends together and get them more serious about their spiritual life. And being that college is really overwhelming and that's a lot going on, when I'm saying this to my friends, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm too tired, or I don't have time. And it's like, for me, I was like, well, I'm getting down, because it's like, well, they said they don't want to do it. How I can't force them to do it. But it's like, if God said you need to plant this seed, then you need to plant this seed. So that's something that I needed to do. So I think that socially has been hard, because I'm just trying to, I'm like, I know that God can help my friends, but it's hard to motivate people. So that's sometimes hard, because I was telling Nia, I worry about getting on people's nerves. Like, I don't want to annoy people, because I'm like, hey, like, let's go to church. Hey, let's watch a sermon. Hey, let's do this. But I know that it needs to be done, because I know that's what God is telling me to do. And also, like Nia said, sometimes social norms, yeah. Sex specifically, I'm just gonna put it out there because I feel like this should be a candid conversation. Like, that is a social norm, and sometimes that is a spiritual battle that you have whenever you're trying to be connected to your faith. It's like, hey, everybody is saying this is okay, but like God said this can wait. That's a battle, and it's like when you tell people that, they're like, okay, that's good for you, like have fun with that, you know what I mean? So that's one of the cons, if you will. But I think it's really about what Nia said about having accountability partners, having people around you who are just as passionate as you are, and letting them know that like, hey, I need you to keep it real with me. Like, yo, maybe that actually, you don't need to do that. Like, just stop, just chill. So that's one of the things that I think is hardest. What do you think about that?
I agree definitely with like, okay, the sex, that's definitely, I'm not saying it's a con, but especially if you're dating in college or you want to talk to people, we're 20 years old.
Right.
21, 22, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So for me to think like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to talk to people and they're not going to want to have sex, it's like, it's kind of unrealistic. But then I have to be like, well, I guess I just won't talk to people like that. People like, you don't talk to anybody, you don't have a man.
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, like most guys are gonna be like, okay, she cool or whatever, but that's nice, you know?
Yeah.
So like that, and even like, I think sometimes there's a pressure from friends.
Yeah.
Like,
girl, you better have fun.
Live your life.
Or like, they say like, you need, if you have an attitude or something, that's why you act like that. Like,
that's why you need some
yeah.
insert word here. Like,
yeah, no. I think also with friends though, like you have your friends and they do certain things, but people say like you are the company you keep. So I had to talk to Ashley about that. Like, I love my friends, but like I want friends who are kind of on the same like wave as me, so we can connect and you can motivate me. Like, I can ask my friends who do other things to hold me accountable, but they're really gonna be like, girl, it's okay. But I know Ashley knows like why I want to do it, like the seriousness of it. So having friends like you.
Yeah, you gotta have friends like you. And okay, so riddle me this. I was thinking about how, and I was talking to my counselor about this the other day, like, you know, when you're praying to God and you're like, hey God, like bring me friends, or, you know, reveal to me the people that you want, you know, in my life and stuff like that. And then I'll pray that prayer and then I'll resist everything that's happening in my life. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, it's not supposed to be like this. Like, why do they not want to talk to me? Why? And I'm like, well, wait a second. Like, my counselor was like, well, you asked for something and then now you're mad at God's answer. Like, so how do you react in those type of situations?
Yeah, that's true. I think I try to keep in mind that when I'm praying for something, I'm only going to pray for it if I'm okay with what's going to happen after. It's certain things that I'm not ready to say yet, because I don't know how I'm going to react.
Yeah.
But I just got to be like, okay, Nia, you know, if you say this, it's probably about to be a whole bunch of stuff that happens as a result. But like a lot of stuff happened to me, I'm like, I know it happens for reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mia, I feel like, is better at like moving with stuff than I am. So I feel like when something happens, like to me, it feels like my world is about to stop, and I'm like, I start questioning everything. And that's just something that I'm working on spiritually. Is like when something happens in my life, I don't have to question myself in every single situation. Like, oh, this happened because this was supposed to happen.
And I like to think of the scripture when it says like it rains on the just and unjust alike. So even if I think I'm doing everything good and something bad happens, oh well. And when I see great things happen to people who I feel like
why would that happen? Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And really quick, I just want to talk about one more thing. I heard the sermon about helping people and about how basically your help from God is going to be a reflection of how you help other people. So how do you feel like you are doing God's work on this earth and in college?
Okay. I think God created me to be like a positive person. A lot of people would say that I'm very positive, and I don't like to be down. So I think something that I do really well is I try to help people see like the good side and like a lot of stuff that they go through. Even when people come to me talking about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, well this happened, but you know, it could have been this.
Oh, she loves the, well, at least this. Like, that's her favorite line.
Yeah. Or maybe God is showing you this. And I think I also like to like show the love that God has given me, because nobody's perfect. I have sinned just like everybody else. So I know how much He loves me, and I want to give that love to other people. And that's what brings people to Christ, when they see like, oh, well, she has a relationship with Him and she loves people. Right. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you do. I don't care what you do, because I do stuff. Right. So I'm not about to sit up here and treat you differently. I don't care. And I think that, like, me making sure that I always show this love that God has given me and I give it to other people, that's how I hope to bring attention to Him and bring them to Him.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
How about you, sis?
Oh, so I feel like my job is to really show people how to be okay with themselves. There was a long period of time where I wasn't okay with who I was merely because of my surroundings. So now I feel like specifically with girls, like God is like, build confidence. Like you need to build confidence in other people. You need to show people how to be confident in themselves because you have this testimony. Like I didn't know who I was. I wanted to be white. I wanted to be all these other things that I wasn't until I came to A&T, and God blessed me with this A&T experience so that I was able to really transform who I was as a person. So now I feel like he's like, now it's your job to go tell people your testimony, tell people how you struggle with who you are so that you can uplift them, especially as being like a teacher. I really feel like that is my purpose on this earth. And even those days when I get down and I'm like, oh, like I'm tired, oh, I don't feel like doing like this, God is so quick to remind me that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because something will happen at the school and I'll be like, oh yeah, like I'm at the right place, like I know I'm supposed to be here. And just talking about that confidence, this summer me and Nia both taught at the same place. I was really tired. It was hard. At the beginning for me, it was really hard. Like I was overwhelmed and the days were really long. And I was like, man, I don't know if this is what I want to do anymore. I went to the school and one of the girls, she's like, you're so pretty. And I was like, thank you, so are you. And she was like, well, I don't think so, but thanks. And in that moment, I was like, wow, that was a reality check. Like God's here reminding me like, hey, you know what you need to do. Like, you know the impact that you need to have. So for me, I feel like my job is to just help people love themselves because they need it, you know what I mean? And God loves you the way that you are. You were created in a certain way. So it's like you need to love every aspect of your creation, no mistakes. So yeah, I feel like that's my job, is to just instill confidence in people, and especially in young girls.
That's beautiful, sis.
Yeah, so, well, I hope that you guys enjoyed our video. Please head over to Nia's channel. Be encouraged to check out the rest of our conversation, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.